Hey everybody, it's Jason DeZurik, and I'm sitting in with Scott Mason. He's really excited to be here, if you can't tell.
Yeah.
And you know what? We just decided to do a quick video blog. And before we get to that, though, remember, listen to Do Not Keep Silent every Sunday night, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And you can listen at 90.1 in Ohio and also WXML.cc all over the world. Scott just recently went up to Lakeville,
Lakeview
Lakeview,
in
and
Millbury, Ohio.
okay, and for those of you who have been under a rock, a lot of stuff just happened up there recently, and I just want Scott to kind of share not just what happened, but what he experienced while he was there.
Yeah, I had the opportunity Wednesday to go up there. It was the two towns were hit by a F4 tornado, and there were multiple tornadoes, but there was one big vortex with about 200-mile-an-hour winds, and it was about a 9-mile path. They're saying the tornado was 400 yards wide, which is 4 football fields. And when I got there, I was able to work through the United Way, and there was a couple hundred of us, 300 of us, that had to go in the fields to pick up the debris from the houses that were in these fields. And after that, I was able to travel around throughout both cities and just be able to talk to people that lost their homes. You can see by the devastation of my photos that it's just wild. It's crazy. A lot of people. There's over 5 people that have lost their lives. They're still trying to figure that out. There's people in the hospital, but houses were just literally ripped from their foundations. Neighborhood after neighborhood, block after block, and the houses that weren't ripped from their foundations are pretty much destroyed. You know, the two-story houses are down to one story,
Hmm.
and things of that.
And if you want to go see those photos, everybody, there's a link from Do Not Keep Silence Facebook page, and then Scott Mason, he's got them posted on your Facebook account, right?
I do.
Too.
I do.
Um, and everybody, it's time for us not just to be hearers of the word, but to be doers of the word. And that one reason I wanted Scott in here is because he's doing it, and he just said, "Heck with it, I'm going up there and I'm going to go help these people."
That was it.
I mean, that's all you really did, right?
That's
I
it.
mean, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I mean,
So
that was it. I was very fortunate. The church that I belonged to kind of flipped a bill for the gas to get up there, and they paid for my
that's
meal.
awesome.
But that was, it's something. It's in my heart, but also being a born again Christian, these people need help, and I have to drop everything to help them, and we have to do the same thing, and just not this disaster, but many disasters. And we talk about being a New Testament church. Well, this is kind of what the New Testament church does. They go up there and they help these people. The the photos that you'll see really doesn't do any justice until you're sitting in there and you're looking at it, you're smelling it, and you're hearing people's stories and people crying and how they're still alive. But imagine losing loved ones and everything that you own. That was really the crazy thing about that. You're working in these fields and you're finding people's checks and credit cards and rings and cash and pictures and photographs
Mm.
that can't be replaced.
Yeah.
And it's we got to step up. We got to step up.
Well, you were telling me about a lady you were talking to who, I mean, I've seen the picture. All that's left is a flat pad of concrete, and then you've got a chimney, and then nothing else.
No, nothing.
I mean, it's the weirdest picture because there used to be a house standing there. And if I remember right, you tell me the people that were in that house, they're older, but they're alive in a hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, right now, as we know, hopefully, so please be praying for those people. Do you know their first names at all?
I
Or-
don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, just be praying for those people. But you were able to talk to, is it their daughter?
Their daughter. Yeah.
Can obviously you don't know the name, but do you mind sharing what happened there and just, if you will, I mean, how helpless you really felt?
When I I started taking the pictures, and that was like the fifth or sixth house on this block that was totally gone that the tornado took. And in the picture, you see it. It was a 2-story house. You still see the stacks going up to the second floor. That's not there. But um, I I stopped and I talked to the lady, and she was telling me about her mom and dad were in the house when the tornado hit, and there was no basement, and they were in their bedroom. How they're still alive is just by the grace of God. And next to that house, an 18 wheeler fell out of the sky. They don't know where it came from. I mean, it just landed there, and you see the pictures of that too. But I asked her, I said, what can I do personally? What can my church do for you guys? Not for the community, but just you yourself. And she talked about they didn't have insurance on the house and things like that. And she kind of looked up at into the house, which isn't there anymore, and she looked back at me, and she didn't have to say nothing. I just knew there was nothing I could do for her. Nothing. I mean, if we gave a check for $2,000, what good is that going to do? And I'm not saying that don't donate. I'm just saying that that's how bad it is.
Well, and right now you were saying, right now basically donating money is about all we can really do.
That's basically it, yeah.
And you were saying it changes all the time, but right now, I mean, the Millbury Fire Department.
The Millbury Fire Department, you can contact them, and they will tell you how to either donate money. All the reports I was hearing, and it changes day to day, is that they have enough food, they have enough clothing, they don't need any more volunteers there. All the volunteer type work is done. Now what they need is people to stay out so they can get contractors in there and start just picking up all this mess. There's conflicting reports, but there's probably about 100 houses that are just gone, not including everything else. So they have to get people in there. They got people looting that they're arresting. They got contractors that are being crooked. So they really want to be able to know what's going on in organized fashion.
Mm-hmm. And really, I mean, it seems like this has kind of changed you a bit. I mean, for those of you who don't know Scott, I mean, he's pretty intense. He's just usually, and he still is intense, but it's really, I think, awoke him of how much the church needs to be the church.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Do you mind? We got about 3 minutes. Do you mind just sharing your heart? Just what does that mean for you?
Yeah, Jason's been writing blogs about being the New Testament church, and as he first started writing these blogs, I was sitting there looking at it and said, we're too far down in this country to be able to be that New Testament church. But as I started going on and doing the different things, speaking in prisons and dealing with drug addicts, and then seeing this destruction that I've seen, what we have to do is in our community, and I don't mean outside, Michigan, Indiana. I'm talking about Ohio, where we live. We need to come together, and we got to start helping people that need help. And it's just not about spreading the word. It's also about meeting these physical needs of these people. How would it be that I'm trying to tell this lady who her mom and dad are in the hospital, we don't know if they're going to live, and they don't have a house anymore or cars or anything to speak of. How would it be that if I just started telling her about Jesus and said, well, you just need Christ, and this is going to be all better. Those people have physical needs before we go in there and start being the church, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. We have to be able to meet what these people need and find out. And I'm just not talking about this tornado. I'm saying other disasters or communities or anybody. We have to start sticking together, and we have to go in there, and we got to start kicking butt. There's too much division among the church today. And what I got to see was there was a whole bunch of us that were working this tornado and working in the fields and working in the houses and trying to help people. And we're all from different denominations. And a lot of those people weren't Christians, and a lot of those people maybe didn't believe in God, but we had one thing in common, and we were out there working our butts off. That was the hardest work I've ever had to do. You're talking about 14, 15-foot 2x4s that are 5-6 feet into the ground sticking up. That's how powerful this was. And we just worked together. And it really showed me that as the church, we got to work together. Mm-hmm. It was impressive. I was with 4 or 5 guys, and what we were doing was picking up all this wood. And there's thousands of piles of wood that we had. And what we started to do was we took 2 big pieces of wood, put them on the ground, and then crossed them. So then that way 4 of us could lift that up and carry it instead of one person doing it. We got a lot more wood done that way off to the side than just one person doing it. Yeah. And as a church, we have to be that way. We have to be able to do that, and all 4 of us pick it up and just do what we have to do.
Yep. Everybody, I want to thank you for watching this video blog, and you want to encourage you to listen to the show this week. Scott's going to be on again. We're going to talk more about this, and we're going to talk about a ministry called Open Door that you can maybe help out with and such. And Scott, just appreciate you for being here, brother.
Thanks, man.
Yep, and we'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.